My best bet for Monday Night Football, week 3. We actually have 2 Monday Night Football games this week, but we're going to be focusing on the Washington Commanders as they take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, after a tough loss against the Chiefs, the 0-2 Bengals are laying 7.5 points at home against the 1-1 Washington Commanders. Everybody wants to take the Bengals in this one, so let's find out if there's value still backing them on the spread, or potentially we can go a different route. If you're stumbling onto this page for the first time, welcome. My name is Peter Appel, and this channel is the home for all of my NFL best bets moving forward. This video is being recorded before Sunday slate, where we released our video. On this channel, we gave out Eagles moneyline plus 130, the Broncos plus 7, the Giants plus 7, the Dolphins plus 4.5, and a little sprinkle on the Dolphins money line. And just a reminder that this channel is sponsored by BetMGM. It is the perfect time to use promo code JustGridiron for a first bet offer up to $1,500. Deposit at least $10, and if you lose your first wager on BetMGM after using code JustGridiron, you'll get it all back, up to $1,500 in bonus bets. However, gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older. Terms and conditions apply. The look-ahead line for this game was Bengals minus 5.5, and now the line has settled as 7.5, 7 with juice, point favorite depending on your sports book. On BetMGM at 7.5. Our job is to figure out whether the Bengals deserve a 2-point adjustment in their favor based on the matchup and previous history, or if this number is inflated just because the Bengals quote unquote need this win after an 0-2 start. So what have the Bengals done so far? In week 1, we all remember that embarrassing loss to the Patriots. Burrow is historically bad in week 1, so I won't downgrade them for that performance, right? We took the under 43 in that game due to this. Last year, they lost 24-3 to the Browns in week 1. It's just kind of what the Bengals do. So I'm actually not downgrading them at all for that loss. In week 2, the Bengals lost in heartbreaking fashion to the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it was PI, and it probably was the right call, but regardless, it was one of those games where the Bengals definitely could have won. However, just because it was a really close game against a really good team does not mean that the Bengals necessarily had an incredible game. They ranked 12th in EPA on offense and 14th on defense from just that game. The Chiefs didn't really play that well either, and also the Chiefs could have lost to the Ravens. I'm not really sure how anyone can upgrade the Bengals after these last 2 weeks. Take the win-loss record out of it entirely. They rank 18th in terms of EPA on offense, 14th on defense. They have the 25th ranked rush defense so far, and it looks like they're definitely feeling the loss of DJ Reader. I can't upgrade the Bengals at all, but maybe the line moved because the Commanders need to be downgraded. The Commanders' defense has certainly been abysmal. They rank dead last in EPA this season after getting torched by the Buccaneers, but did look better against the Giants, holding them to 18 points. The offense has been fantastic by the numbers. 4th in EPA per play so far, scoring 20 plus in both games. Now, Jaden Daniels has completely changed this offense. He's able to make plays on the ground, which open up lanes for Brian Robinson because the defense has to worry about so much. I've been the most probably impressed by Daniel's decision-making through the air so far. He has the second lowest intended air yards on pass attempts ahead of only Patrick Mahomes, meaning he's not trying to push the ball downfield, but instead he's making the easy completions. He's taking what the defense gives him. Daniels ranks 6th in EPA per play and 16th in completion percentage over expectation among all qualified quarterbacks. Both are extremely good for a rookie quarterback. We probably all went into the year knowing that the Commanders' defense was going to be terrible, probably a bottom 5 unit, and they definitely are. But I didn't really expect the Commanders' offense to look this good out of the gate. So I've actually slightly upgraded the Commanders after 2 weeks. So the move has to be because of the matchup, right? Because I don't see, if we just look at the past 2 weeks and we even look at preseason expectations, how the Bengals could get a 2-point adjustment from here. So I actually think that the Commanders' offense matches up well against the Bengals' defense in this spot. The Bengals have really struggled to defend the run, like we talked about a little while ago. They surrendered 150 rush yards to the Chiefs last week and 170 rushing yards to the Patriots in week 1. The Commanders have rushed for 138 yards in week 1 and 215 yards last week against the Giants. It's crazy to say, but the Commanders should operate their offense similarly to the way Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs did last week. The Chiefs ran the ball 32 times, and Mahomes threw just 11 of his 25 passes across the line of scrimmage. The Chiefs stayed true to their game plan. And I think the Commanders are going to have a similar path to success. Run the ball with Brian Robinson, get Jaden Daniels out of the pocket, get his legs working, and make easy passes. Just move down the field methodically. Now, the Bengals offense gets back T. Higgins, who says he's 100% for this game. That's 100% a boost for the Bengals offense. But how much of a boost is it in his first game off an injury? He's a great wide receiver, no doubt about it. The Bengals went into the season 4-4 in games that he's missed during the regular season. The best wide receivers in the league are maybe worth a point against the spread. I don't see how him returning can bump it above that. And it's likely less than a 1 point adjustment just because of T. Higgins. There is one glimmer of hope for Washington's defense. In 2022, when everyone was healthy, the Bengals faced the Dan Quinn-led Cowboys defense and held them to 17 points. That Cowboys defense back then was clearly better than Washington. But Dan Quinn, with an extra day to prepare now as the DC of Washington, should be able to devise a solid game plan here. So based on the matchup, I wouldn't move this line at all. But after adding Higgins, I can make the line Bengals -6 at the absolute most. It's clear to me this line moved because nobody, you probably watching, sort of me, can think that the Bengals can go 0-3. There's no way. So that's why the money, the tickets, everything is going to be all over the Bengals spread, all over Bengals money line, all over the Bengals and teasers. The Bengals started 0-2 last year, played the Rams in week 3 at home. Now, the Rams are better than the Commanders. They won by 3 points. Just because a team has to win and should win doesn't mean they win by 8 or more. Now, I've partnered with Rithmm. It's a new app that uses AI and data modeling to predict props and game outcomes. Their model loves the Commanders and actually makes them only a 2.4 point underdog to the Bengals. Go to the link in the description to access your 7-day free trial to Rithmm for more prop and game predictions. Remember, the model on Rithmm is just another data point that supports the Commanders plus the 7.5. I think this line is just inflated due to everybody feeling like the Bengals have to win. And because the Bengals defense just isn't that good, and the Commanders offense has proven to be one of the better units in the NFL so far, the back door is always going to be open. I'm taking the Washington Commanders plus 7.5 to win one unit for Monday Night Football. You might be also interested in what my pick would be for the Bills versus the Jaguars. I definitely lean the Jaguars plus 5.5 because it feels like the spot for them, but I actually feel that that's the right line. I upgraded the Bills because I think they've looked fantastic, and you have to downgrade the Jaguars a little bit. So that line open at 3.5 has now settled in at 5. That would be the adjustment I would make. So I lean Jaguars based off the spot, just not enough value for me to get there, but there is a 1.5 of value on this spread for Washington. So I'm taking the Commanders down to plus 7. That was the lowest I would play it. Let's go 1-0. Let's stay hot. Why not us?